win the Stanley Cup, and add one legend to your roster. At the end of every single season, we are going to be hopping on this wheel, spinning it. Whatever alumni team we land on, we get to choose one player from that team to join the team that ended up going on and winning the Stanley Cup in the sim. Now, hopefully, I don't have to sit here and see a bunch of poverty teams go on and win the Stanley Cup. I don't think that's going to be the case in year number one, and obviously the team that goes on and wins it all is definitely going to get an advantage heading into next year, considering they're going to be able to spin the wheel and add an NHL legend to their team. Now, at the end of season number one, we got the Florida Panthers going on, the defending champs, being the best team in the NHL with 51 wins, followed by the Washington Capitals. Winnipeg was very good. The Rangers, surprisingly, won 50 games. They're an absolute train wreck in real life, and Toronto was indeed top 5. While the Utah Hockey Club, no hopes at winning pretty much anything, not adding any legends to their roster either, only 27 wins on the season. Nikita Kucherov will lead the league in scoring. We only had 3 players that had triple digits. The Kucherov had 115, McKinnon 111, and Austin Matthews with 106. Sam Reinhart also had a very good season. Pasternak was good, Braden Point, Kyle Connor, JT Miller, despite the fact that he's beefing with Pedersen. On the goal side, Matthews will lead with 58 tucks on the season, followed by Kyle Connor, Nikita Kucherov, Nathan McKinnon, who had 54. Reinhardt only had 43. He's probably going to smash that in real life. I mean, the dude almost had 60 goals last season, and he's having another great year. For the goalies, Cam Talbot, surprisingly, is going to have the most wins at 40 on the year. Hellebuck only 39. Logan Thompson at 39. Demko 37 on the shutout side. We got Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen with 6 on the year, and a bunch of other goaltenders tied with 5. I honestly have no idea who's going to end up taking home the Vezina. And this is what our Stanley Cup playoff bracket looks like. So we're going to go on, simulate to the end, and see who takes home the Stanley Cup. Well, I guess the Vancouver Canucks Game 7 woes are no longer, as they are going to go home with the Stanley Cup in season number 1, as they have gone ahead and defeated the Montreal Canadiens in the Stanley Cup Finals. Yes, the Habs somehow made it. We got JT Miller being the Conn Smythe Trophy Award winner with 11 goals, 27 points, and of course his infamous beef with Elias Pettersson. And I guess none of that matters, considering Vancouver will get the job done despite pretty much all the locker room cancer stuff going on. Despite the fact that they're not good in the Stanley Cup Final or in Game 7, they clutch it up. They were up 3-2 in the series, almost won in Montreal. It did not happen. And Quinn Hughes is going to come up for the first time and raise the Stanley Cup, as now they are going to head to the wheel and be able to take one NHL legend and add it to their current roster. Matthews is going to take home the Ted Lindsay, Maurice Richard, and Hart Trophy. Art Ross to go to Kucherov. Josh Morrissey is actually going to win the Norris. Matvei Mishkov the Calder. Miller the Conn Smythe. Logan Thompson the Vezina. And we got Robert Thomas winning the Selke. So here we are on the wheel. If we land on Arizona, Seattle, or Vegas, I will just respin it yet again. And the first team that we are going to be grabbing here is none other than the Florida Panthers. A very interesting choice to make. Well, would you take a look at that? Bobby Lou is the highest rated player on the Florida Panthers alumni team. He's also an alumni of the Vancouver Canucks. So where's the backup here? Arthur Sheloff, see you later. Bobby Lou is indeed back in Vancouver. Vancouver now probably has the best goaltending tandem in the entire league, with Bobby Lou and Thatcher Demko, both of them being a 91 overall apiece. It doesn't really get much better than that. Moving on to season number 2, we did not have a single 50-win team in the NHL this season. Dallas was the best team with only 46 wins, but 12 overtime losses. Winnipeg was up there with 49, Nashville, New Jersey, the Rangers, Colorado. Where is the Vancouver Canucks? Okay, Vancouver luckily made it into the postseason. Only 43 wins with that goaltending tandem. Honestly, kind of surprised by that. David Pasternak is going to lead the NHL in scoring with 104 points, followed by Jack Hughes' 101. Mitch Marner was up there with 98. We got Nathan McKinnon with 96. McDavid had a very bad season. Kaprizov was decent. Breadman had 93. If we take a look at the goal side here, we got Pasta leading in that category as well with 59. Kaprizov had 52. McKinnon 50. Matthews only 44. A 40-year-old Ovi had 43 goals on the year. Nikita Kucherov was very good. Rantanen was decent. decent for the goaltenders in the NHL. Jake Ottinger and Sergei Bobrovsky both tying for the most wins at 40. And for the most shutouts, that will go to Connor Hellebuyck from the Winnipeg Jets with 7. Also had a .924 save percentage, most likely going to win the Vezina Trophy. He had the most shutouts, decent amount of wins, the best save percentage out of any starting goalie. And here we go yet again, year number 2. This is our playoff bracket. And now in the Stanley Cup Finals, we have the Battle of Halifax between Nathan MacKinnon and Sidney Crosby, the Avs versus Pens. Who's going to go on and take home the cup? And the Pittsburgh Penguins are gonna get it done. Sidney Crosby yet again leads them to another Stanley Cup, the 4th in the Crosby, Malkin, Letang era. Erik Karlsson grabs his first of his career, and most importantly, the Penguins will now be able to add one legend to their roster as they will go on defeat the Avs in 6 games. Honestly, the Avalanche, I think they have a much better roster, but it was just not good enough. Sid the Kid with another Conn Smythe trophy, 7 goals, 30 points. He's like 37 years old, still absolutely dominating in the postseason. And it looks like his beard finally has gotten more full. It is a lot less patchy than it used to be. There it is, the Stanley Cup being raised in Pittsburgh. I don't think they actually won it in Pittsburgh. All 3 times that Crosby won the cup, I believe it was on the road, as he's going to come on up for yet again another Stanley Cup, the 4th of his entire illustrious career. For the entire postseason, Evgeny Malkin actually outperformed Crosby. He had way more goals at 15, same amount of points. I don't know why Sid won the Conn Smythe. I guess they're just going to give it to him just like they did back in 2016 when Phil Kessel clearly was much better in the playoff run than Crosby. Malkin at 27, Mikko Rantanen with 26. Landeskog was pretty good for Colorado. Kyle Connor in only 19 games had 11 goals in the playoffs. David Pastrnak is going to take home all the major individual awards. Roman Josi will win the Norris, Crosby the Conn Smythe, Jake Ottinger the Vezina, and for the Selke, that'll go to Anze Kopitar. Back on the wheel for the second time, who is going to be selecting for the Pittsburgh Penguins? And it's none other than the LA Kings, a very interesting choice. So here is the LA Kings alumni team. They got a 98 overall Wayne Gretzky. We could add him to the roster. Luc Robitaille would be a nice winger for Crosby. I mean, Marcel Dion wouldn't be bad. Their center depth, honestly, is already good. But I think it would be sacrilege if I did not add the great one, Wayne Gretzky, to the Pittsburgh Penguins, 98 overall, and take a look at that center depth now. Well, the Penguins are going to be rolling out a line of Crosby, Gretzky, and Rickard Rakell as their first line. I mean, seeing the great one, number 99, playing the Pens instead of Lemieux is kind of weird, but you know what? We're just going to run with it. The Vancouver Canucks will go ahead and be the best team in the NHL this season, 52 wins with Bobby Lou as their starter. Probably just needed some time to gel. Colorado had a great season. They were just in the Cup Finals. Pittsburgh, the defending champs right now, added Wayne Gretzky, and they got 49 wins. Winnipeg had a good year, as well as the Rangers. And at the bottom, the Nashville Predators. Of course, Gretzky's going to go ahead and lead the league in scoring of 112 points, followed by Matthews 108, as well as Sid the Kid Crosby. Mitch Marner had 106, McDavid 105, and McKinnon 103. And if we take a look at the goal side here, Tummy Matthews had the most at 63 on the season, followed by Kyle Connor, Nikita Kucherov, Wayne Gretzky with 54, and that will do it for all our 50-goal scorers in the NHL this year. Connor Hellebuck's going to lead the league in wins out of any single goaltender, 46 on the season. Igor had 38, as well as Samuel Ersson, who plays for the Philadelphia Flyers, also having the most shutouts and a 923. This dude is an 84 overall, simulating like a god on a bad hockey team. And here we go yet again, another Stanley Cup playoff bracket. Who is going to be the team that goes all the way, wins it all, and then adds a legend? And now in the Cup Finals, yet again, Colorado has a chance at winning it, but they got to go up against the Florida Panthers, who are currently the defending champs in real life. And the Colorado Avalanche will go ahead and get their revenge for last season as they straight up dominated the Panthers, swept them in the Stanley Cup Finals, 4 straight games. Obviously, last year they lost to the Pens. Very disappointing. I mean, McKinnon probably lost his goddamn mind losing to his childhood idol. Nonetheless, a very good team in this game are going to be able to go on and add a legend to their roster as Colorado are your Stanley Cup champions here in year number 3. And Nathan MacKinnon is your Conn Smythe winner. 13 goals, 31 points, a very good playoff run by the dog. Speaking of dog, mine is literally behind me licking his ball sack on my bed. I don't appreciate it at all. Nonetheless, there is the Stanley Cup being raised in Florida yet again. I love nothing more than seeing Florida fans just be pissed, be absolutely pissed, seeing another team. This is what should have happened in January. This should have happened in June. Nonetheless, Landeskog raising the cup for the second time in like 3 years. Nathan MacKinnon will lead the postseason in scoring. He had 13 goals, 31 points. Conn Smythe winner for a reason. Middlestat was very good with 25. We got Sam Reinhart up here. Cale Makar was good. Barkov, Kachuk, and Nichushkin. Matthews will win the Ted Lindsay and Maurice Richard, the Art Ross and Hart Trophy to Wayne Gretzky, the Norris to Cale Makar. Obviously, McKinnon, the Conn Smythe. Samuel Ersson is going to go ahead and take home the Vezina. And we got Gretzky also winning the Selke. As we head back to the wheel, yet again spinning it. I wonder what team we're going to land on to add to the Colorado Avalanche. And it is it Detroit or Edmonton? The Detroit Red Wings, or as some like to call them, the Dead Wings. Now, there is a few solid options here. We could go with Nick Lidstrom, add him alongside Cale Makar. That would be absolutely overpowered. Terry Sawchuk, a 94 overall goalie, added to the Colorado Avalanche would be pretty OP. Or we go with Mr. Hockey, Gordie Howe, at a 95. And you know what? Just to see them as not just line mates, but D pairs, I want Nick Lidstrom joining the Colorado Avalanche alongside Cale Makar. Well, there it is. Nick Lidstrom and Cale Makar, a 94 and 95. I mean, they already had the best D pair in the entire league with Makar and Taves, but now adding in Nick Lidstrom just makes it that much better. And I mean, so far, we have not seen a single repeat champion. Every single champion has been new all 3 seasons, so I wonder if Colorado can go on and win it. Maybe the Penguins show back up. Who knows? I honestly thought adding in legends to their teams that potentially we could create like a dynasty in a certain franchise or city. At the end of the season, Tampa Bay will go ahead and be the best team in the NHL with 51 wins, followed by the Detroit Red Wings. Toronto was up there, Minnesota, St. Louis, and Colorado. At the bottom, LA. So Colorado, the highest team that actually has a legend on their squad out of anybody here. Austin Tummy Ache Matthews will lead the NHL in scoring with 101 points. Nikita Kucherov, the only other 100-point scorer in the entire league this season. Ovi was very good with 94. Gretzky only had 90 points, which is straight up disrespectful. On the goal side, Matthews also leads in that category with 54, followed by Kirill's 53. Nathan MacKinnon was up there. Kucherov, Pasta only had 43. Bedard with 43 at, 19 years old. For the goaltenders, Cam Talbot will have the most wins at 43, and the most shutouts will be a 2-way tie between Igor and Jordan Binnington, both having 6. And now in the Cup final, the Colorado Avalanche have a chance to win their second in this simulation. They're up against the Carolina Hurricanes. Best of 7 to see who is better. Possibly Nick Lidstrom could put them over the edge. And unfortunately for Avalanche fans, they are not going to go back-to-back. Well, they didn't go back-to-back to begin with, but they're not going to win the Stanley Cup as the Carolina Hurricanes shut that down in, I believe, 5 games. They dominated them. It was not even close. And the Hurricanes heading into year number 5 are going to be the last team to be able to add a legend to their NHL roster. They had a very good postseason run. Obviously, a good team in real life. Pretty mid, honestly, until they're a great team until they play an actual good team in the playoffs. But Sebastian Aho, 11 goals, 28 points, was the best player on Carolina. Your mom is, in fact, a hoe. And there it is, Lord Stanley being raised in Ball Arena for the Carolina Hurricanes, as their captain, Jordan Staal, is going to come on up and lift the cup yet again, as the Hurricanes are your champions. Aho is going to have the most points in the postseason with 28. Marty Natchez had 25. Makar was up there with 24. Ovi had 23 and 9 goals. McKinnon was kind of quiet, to be honest. Only point per game in the playoffs. Tommy Ake Matthews going to take home all the individual awards. Rasmus Dahlin will take home the Norris. Aho the Conn Smythe. Logan Thompson will win another Vezina. And for the Selke, it will go to the great one, Wayne Gretzky. All right, as we head into the 5th and final season, this is the final spin on the wheel. What team are we going to get? And it's the Minnesota Wild. Wow, Carolina. Not too many teams you could honestly get worse than that. Obviously, Minnesota Wild alumni squad has a long list of players we can choose from. I mean, take a look at this. Their highest overall player is Owen Nolan at an 87. So I guess I'm going to add him to the Carolina Hurricanes. Not really the biggest of differences, but you know what? It is what it is. Owen Nolan is going to slot in nicely alongside Jack Roslovic and Seth Jarvis on that second line of the Carolina Hurricanes. So I guess it makes their forward core at least a little bit better. He is an 87 overall at the end of the day. He is also a power forward, so that should help them out during the sim. And possibly maybe they can go back-to-back. Who knows? Now, at the end of the final season, the Toronto Maple Leafs will finish with the best record, 54, 21, and 7, followed by Florida. New York was up there, Vancouver, and Colorado. Austin Tommy Ake Matthews will lead the NHL in scoring, yet again, this time with 108 points, followed by Kirill Kaprizov's 101. Mitch Marner had 99. Reinhart was up there, as well as Artemi Panarin. And on the goal side, Matthews is going to lead there also with 48. Kaprizov had 46. Ovi as well. Breadman 44. Kyle Connor 43. And the great one, Wayne Gretzky, has not been performing that great at all on the Pittsburgh Penguins. He has been low-key trash to his standards. Bob is going to have the most wins out of any goalie, but he didn't have a single shutout on the season. Not even one, as Jeremy Swayman will have the most at 7, also a .921 save percentage. Well, we got a brand new matchup in the Stanley Cup Finals. The Seattle Kraken versus the Boston Bruins. Didn't really touch either of these teams. And, yeah, I don't know how either of them even made the Cup final, especially with some of these legends playing for other NHL franchises. The Seattle Kraken have just completed maybe the best comeback in NHL history, down 3-1 in the Stanley Cup Finals to the Boston Bruins, and they are bona fide choke artists now moving forward. I mean, Seattle doesn't even have that good of a team, if we're being honest. And the Bruins, all they needed to do was win one game, just like that series against Florida. Couldn't get the job done, and they end up blowing it here in Game 7 on their home ice. I mean, this is like the other side of the card from 2011. And we got Chandler Stevenson winning the Conn Smythe Trophy at 15 goals in the postseason. What? That's so close to the record? Dear God, since when is Chandler Stevenson this good of a goal scorer? There had to have been some fairy dust, magic dust, Santa sleigh dust, some sort of miracle going on in NHL 25 to have Seattle go on, not only win the Cup, but Chandler Stevenson put up 15 goals in the postseason as Jordan Eberle. How many years into his NHL career? 13, 14, 15, doesn't matter. He is forever now a Stanley Cup champ. Yet again, Tommy Ake is going to take home all the major individual awards. We got Cale Makar winning the Norris, Chandler Stevenson, the Conn Smythe. Binnington will take home the Vezina, and the Selke again to Wayne Gretzky. Well, that is going to do it for this video, despite the fact that I added a legend to every single cup-winning team. Literally nobody repeated in this entire simulation. We had a brand new champion every single year. And in year number 5, it was Seattle, which was definitely the most random of them all. If you guys did enjoy the video, make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more NHL content just like this, and until next time, don't be silly. Wrap your willy.